Supplies for this project include brush, palette, India ink dropper, and a cup of water. First, we'll mix different values of India ink, starting with pure black, and then diluting the black in the different compartments using water. The pure black is very dark and rich, so it takes a lot of water to dilute it and make it more gray. Over time, your water will get dirty, and you can use your cup of water as yet another value. Now I'm starting the drawing. Today's drawing will be of an elephant. When I draw, I combine knowledge of shapes, proportion, and negative space to try to achieve an accurate likeness. For this project, your drawing need not be very detailed. It can be simple and capture the animal or subject in its essence. Note that I'm not adding much internal detail, just trying to capture the basic form of the subject. We'll make a few swatches of ink above the elephant to get a sense for how light and how dark our ink is. On the left is the darkest, most pure form of the India ink, gradually getting lighter and more watery to the right. I'll use this wateriest, most gray version to paint the first layer of the elephant. As this is a sketchbook technique, I'm not spending too much time on minute detail, focusing rather on value, light, and shadow. Once the elephant is wet, I'll use progressively darker shades of ink to represent some of the shadows. Note how the ink spreads across the wet paper. This technique is called wet on wet. It is free-flowing and spontaneous, so don't try to control it too much. Unlike watercolor, India ink is more permanent once it dries, so it cannot be lifted or moved once it sets. As you paint, parts of your paper will become dry. You don't need to re-wet it. You can use that opportunity to add just a few details. Remember, the purpose of this exercise is not to create a perfect photorealistic representation of an elephant. You're trying to capture its essence and its movement using a quick style of painting with India ink. You can use this exercise to help you think more deeply about light and shadow, as well as how to see value. Value is how light or how dark something is. Working in grayscale can really help train the eye to see light and shadow without being distracted by other details like texture. However, you might find it enjoyable to add a few lines of texture, perhaps along the trunk or along the haunch. Let's take a closer look at the wet on wet technique. First, I'll apply water to the page. I'm using a medium-sized round brush. This size and shape is very versatile and can be used on most paintings for most anything. Then I'll apply pure India ink on top of the water. Watch how it flows into the water. It creates more shades of gray and splits apart as it spreads. Again, this style is called wet on wet. Allow your ink paintings to dry and watch how they change. As they dry, new patterns and shapes will emerge. Here are a few pages from my sketchbook using this painting style with India ink. That concludes our video for today. Happy art making and see you later.